Hey, what's up, guys? Time to talk about what I liked in April. And I make these kind of videos every month, talking about some of the books, movies, shows, toys that stood out to me during the month. So if you like this one, check the rest out on my channel. Now, first things first, this Tinkerbell Funko Pop. Now, the chase for this really sucks, right? They basically just gave her slightly rosier cheeks because in the scene, she gets angry and she kind of turns red. One of the worst chases ever. Definitely the worst chase of the year so far for me. But I really like the Funko Pop. So I think it's one of the better Funko Pops just because I like Tinkerbell. But the chase is absolutely terrible. Didn't find one in store or anything, but this I'm going to display out of the box because I just really like the character. I think she'll look good on my bookshelf. Let me take her out of the package. And here she is out of the box. Not the best paint job on mine, but you know, it's Funko. It's endearing at this point. They're sloppy hairlines. This is a very big improvement over the original Tinkerbell, which looked pretty rough, pretty ugly. And I never got it because I just didn't like the look of it. But this one looks really good. And yeah, she's a perfect one to keep out of the box, put her on a bookshelf, because since she is seated, she won't fall over easily. I also picked up Undiscovered Country #1. And this isn't new. I think it's up to like issue 18 or 19. But it's new to me, and I kind of like to wait until several are out because I'm a little bit impatient and I like to read big story arcs. But I did pick up the first issue just to make sure I like it before I bought graphic novels. And yeah, as soon as I finished reading this, I went ahead and ordered the first graphic novel because it was very good. It takes place in the future where America has been isolated for 30 years and like 100% isolated where nobody really has contact with them. Nobody even really knows what's going on inside of America. So it's intriguing already, right? And the writing is pretty good. And I really liked the artwork, nice and clean. You know, good balance of text to artwork. Because I do like story. I don't like just looking at pictures. And this has a pretty intriguing story. I won't tell you too much about it. Just that I really liked this first issue and I'm looking forward to reading the rest. I also watched the first season of Yellow Jackets on Showtime. Didn't know much about it at all. Went in kind of blind. I was really surprised by how much I liked the show. I ended up watching the whole thing in like 3 days. It's about a high school girls soccer team whose plane crashes in the middle of nowhere and mayhem ensues. It kind of reminded me of Lord of the Flies, except for with girls. But there's also like a little bit of mystery in there. So I would say like Lord of the Flies mixed with Lost. And also a crime drama all at the same time. And maybe a little bit of Mean Girls sprinkled in there as well. Definitely recommend Yellow Jackets. At the movies, I really liked Everything, Everywhere, All at Once with Michelle Yeoh. Pretty hard to explain, but imagine it like Kung Fu Hustle, but with multiverse elements in there, and also with some family drama. One of the most original movies I've ever seen. Very wild and crazy. If you're somebody that's been like a cinephile for a long time, and like a little bit of originality in your movies, and are kind of jaded, right? And you can't stand a lot of these blockbusters, definitely check out Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. I also watched The Northmen, which was just amazing. It kind of seemed like a Frank Frazetta painting come to life. It's directed by Robert Eggers. He did The Lighthouse and The Witch. And it definitely feels like a Robert Eggers movie. So if you like those two, you'll probably like this one. Obviously, it's way more ambitious, way bigger budget. Beautiful cinematography, the acting is really good. From everybody, really. But don't go in there expecting to see something like Braveheart or Gladiator or something like that. This is a little bit more Shakespearean, with a small cast of characters hell-bent on revenge with Vikings. So if that sounds interesting to you, check out The Northmen. I also picked up a Star Wars Lego set. This is the Death Star Trench Run. And this is done in this small, like micro scale. So there's no minifigures or anything with this because as you can see, like look at the size of the stud there. This is very small construction. And that's what I liked about it. Like this looks like a really cool X-Wing, but it's done in such a tiny scale. and these TIE fighters are all super tiny. And this looks very accurate to the movie, this section of the Death Star. So this is just kind of fascinating to me. I really love the designer of this Lego set. I think it's really impressive when they can design in such a tiny scale and make it look so good. I believe this set is around $60, a little pricey, right? Lego is pricey to begin with, becoming a little bit of a premium brand. And this is marketed to adults, right? 18 plus. It's a display piece. It's not really for playing. But yeah, it's pretty cool. You can kind of see, well, I guess you can't really tell what the size of it, but it's not terribly big. Here are the 8.5 inches by 4 inches. Not super big, but very detailed. And yeah, looking forward to putting this together one day with a cup of coffee, because it looks really cool. Really impressive design work here. I also really liked this year's WrestleMania. They're up to 38 now. And I didn't like a lot of the matches. Most of them were pretty entertaining. There wasn't anything super mind-blowing about them. But overall, it felt like WrestleMania. It hadn't felt that way in a few years. I really liked Cody Rhodes' big comeback. I don't follow wrestling on social media really, so to me it was a big surprise and it was really cool. But by far, my favorite moment was Stone Cold Steve Austin giving Vince McMahon the Stone Cold Stunner and Vince McMahon just kind of like melting as he's giving him the stunner. It was so funny. And of course, super nostalgic, right? Felt like we were right back in the Attitude Era. It was ridiculous. It was hilarious. Everything that wrestling should be. Like, I don't take wrestling all serious. I think it's just hilarious. Maybe the funniest stunner ever. I mean, look at Mick Foley. He's practically dying watching this thing. From Stone Cold. And last but not least, if you watch my channel, you probably like hearing people complain about stuff that doesn't really matter, and just nitpick things. And yourmoviesucks.org put out a 3-hour video just nitpicking the hell out of the live action Lion King movie, which was a terrible movie. And he goes way overboard, right? Complaining about every little thing, but it's pretty fascinating. You put a lot of work into the video, and it's only the first part. It's a 3-hour video going over just half of the movie. Now, I don't always agree with Adam of YMS. My movie tastes are more on par with somebody like Impression Blend. I find myself agreeing with 99.9% of her reviews. And when I don't agree, it's just because she gave something a slightly higher rating than I would, or slightly lower. But never like a thumbs up, thumbs down situation. So if you're looking for a reviewer that's more to my taste, check her out. But if you want to watch somebody complain about movies, and maybe he's more on the same level of what you like to watch, so you might like him in that regard as well, but his Lion King video was impressive when it comes to the world of nitpicking things to death on YouTube.
And this barely scratches the surface of the issues with this film's animation. There's just so much character and purpose that is lost for the sake of quote-unquote realism.
Alright guys, those are the things I really enjoyed in April. Let me know what recent shows or movies or collectibles or books or anything really you're enjoying at the moment. Give me something to check out. Alright, thanks for watching and take it easy.